Back again. Yes. Come on. Thank God it's Friday. That's the mood I am right now. I'm sure clubbing tonight. I'm going to the pub. No doubt about it. The spirit is high. Oh my goodness. I'm loaded. Yes. This is ISTV. This is how we do it. This is how we roll, people. You're welcome to the show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Anywhere you're watching from. Right here from United States, Maryland to be precise. Come on, feel the music. Oh, yes. All right, I have these beautiful people right here. The highest. Oh my goodness. I'm feeling the vibes. For sure, I'm going to the pub. You know what I mean? But let's talk sport. Woo! Let's go. Up where you're looking at me. Say, what's going on with Bob? What's wrong with this thing, bro? Come on. Up where talk to me. Be live.
No. The one I'm feeling you. I love the Puma combination. You know, Puma jacket, Puma
yeah.
You're about to be a brand ambassador very soon.
Ah, yeah.
I love the background music.
I'm telling you, you are the best. You're welcome to the show, Okwe. Okwe, let me tell you something. I know you're a NASA fan. You're ready. But there's one question I'm going to quickly ask you. Saka is still going to the English. He's going. What do you think?
That's what just come to my head.
I'll tell you,
man. Has been playing football for 2 years.
Kilo day.
No rest. He's just that good. England can do without him. Neither can Arsenal play.
All right, you're welcome, Okwe, once again. Let me call on this man. Shayo, meet your rights in the building. Shayo, you're live.
Yeah, good evening, Don. Good evening, Okwe. Good evening to all our viewers and listeners. We're back on ISTV. We had an interesting midweek of football in Europe.
Too much.
And we had Chelsea win on Monday as well. So that was a weird one. An unusual one. So I guess we'll go into all the action, and we are looking forward to the big one this weekend between Arsenal and Man City.
All right, you're welcome once again, Shay. You can feel the vibes, Shay. We are on Friday. This is Friday. And I'm also going to welcome this great gentleman. He's ready with me. Kule's asking me why Puma. Leave me alone, Kule. I don't feel me. All right, Kule.
Yes, the Don. Why are you wearing enemy clothes? Why are you wearing enemy clothes? I don't like that. Yes, I don't forget that Arsenal used to wear Puma one time and they were not nice people. But it's a nice outfit. Kind of reminds me of AC Milan, kind of sort of red and black, you know. But it's good. It's nice to be on the show. Yes, what a week of football it has been filled with. The Champions League, the Europa League, and we're back for more weekend football. This time around, before we go on the boring international, let's make use of this weekend before.
All right, you're welcome once again. I am not welcome in the camp of the enemies. Robbie, talk to me. You're live.
Good evening, Don. Good evening, Don. Good evening to the guys in the house. It's good to be here once again. I like the vibe in the studio. It's just beautiful atmosphere right here. Just like Ferrati said, we saw a lot of Champions League action on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and of course yesterday also we got some action from Europe. And this weekend is the weekend where more or less you begin to understand the picture of how the Premier League title is going to look like. Because Arsenal will be up against Manchester City. Bukayo Saka is a big doubt for that game, but let us see how things go, because 1+1, as we know it in football, is not always 11. Neither is it always 2. So it's good to be on the show.
All right, you're welcome once again, Robbie. You're welcome. It's Nubia Prince there with me. Talk to me, Nubia Prince. You're live.
Yeah, good evening, the Don.
Yeah, rolling, man. side. All right, Prince, you're breaking up. Jump in, jump out.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I had an interesting week of football, and of course, Jogging Club saying he wants a replay of that match. Yes, I was disappointed by that VAR officiating. What can they have apologized for? Did you get me?
You're breaking kind of. Jump out, jump in again. I'll bring you back. Jump out and jump in. Let me welcome this great man. I'm telling you, this is the first time joining us on this show, all the way from Canada. It's ready here, everybody. Another Manchester United fan to the core, to the bone, to the flesh. I'm telling you, it's a Red Devil. Welcome, hola! You're live.
Hi, guys. Oh, not too much.
I can feel the spirit. Manchester
yes.
United is messing you up.
No. You know, once in a while, team go through revamp, and it's been some time coming, so we've been expecting it. Some people are overreacting.
Yeah.
You don't need to overreact. They are just getting through a phase that Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool have been to. So we're going to get out of it very soon. So
thank you.
It's good to be on the show. And
right.
Lovely week of football, Champions League, UEFA Conference League, UEFA Cup. And it's good to have the weekend with us with the APL, Serie A, everything. Can't wait to get started. Let's go.
All right. Massive. Please smash the like on the video. We're going to get started. We do these vibes. I'm welcoming everybody. This is ISTV. I'm talking about Intercontinental Sport TV, LLC. I'm telling you, just check it out. We are on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. Just type 1ISTV at 1ISTV. Am I right, okay?
That's right. 1ISTV everywhere. Follow on all social media platforms. Engage with us and let's grow together.
All right, you can hear that. Let's get these vibes. Let's move this way. I'm going to start with this. The best show. Okay, I'm going to start with you. As usual, you're going to rank the teams. Rank the teams based on their achievements. Can you go for it? Okay, you're live.
Without a doubt, you already know who number one is. It's the Invincibles. There is no.
Tell me why. Why is Invincible?
Why the Invincibles? Because in the toughest league in the world, they went 38 games unbeaten. Your best teams, even the team of 99, they could not beat it. All right. So Invincibles for me are number one, and no one is touching them. Right. Number two, I believe. I'll give it to Chelsea with 15 goals conceded. In that season rather. Mourinho's first season in charge of Chelsea, you know, them winning the Premier League title, only conceding 15 goals. When you think about the other team that they had to compete with during that period, you know, in Manchester United and Arsenal, who is coming off the back of being invincible not too long ago. In Newcastle as well. At that point in time, Newcastle was still one of the best teams in England, as they were still playing Champions League football at that time. So, considering all those factors, I think it was very difficult to only concede 15 goals. So, I'll give it to Mourinho's Chelsea, their first Mourinho team, you know, in Chelsea, and then third, the Centurions for Pep and his boys. Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's we're saying that the first is Invincible, and then the Chelsea team making it second. Wow. Number three is Centurion. I'm sure this person is going to have a different opinion. I'm talking about Robbie. Robbie, you are live. Go for it, Robbie.
All right. Good evening to everybody. Of course, let me just quickly do this. I think I will agree with Okwe on this one. And of course, the reason why I would do this is the fact that during the period of Invincible, I will tell you one thing. I greatly admired that team. And one word that Okwe used was the fact that the toughest league in the world. And I will quickly take that apart. Why am I doing that? Is because of the caliber of men that played during that period. You had the likes of a certain Vieira, a French international that is a no-nonsense midfielder. So just imagine how difficult his work would have been, more or less going head-to-head with very, very good players from Chelsea, very, very good players from United, as well as other teams, most especially the London team as it is. So for Arsenal to have been able to play 38 league games, and of course they were not able to more or less be defeated, it tells you how special that team was. So I would take Arsenal first. Second place, I would also take Chelsea's team. That team conceded 15 goals in 38 games. So even if they are conceding a goal per game, it still tells you that they had about 20 plus games in which they did not concede a single goal. So it tells you how defensively tight that team was, and of course how stingy they were giving out goals to any team. And for third place, I would also pick the Centurions because you might. The thing is, we're admiring how much goals or how many points Manchester City put on the board. But if we actually decide to dissect how many goals they let in, and of course look at other results, we might begin to pick holes in that achievement. But as it is, they were more or less the first team in the English football, to get 100 points. So I'll pick Arsenal first, Chelsea second, and of course Manchester City third. Man United did not even make the podium. Well, that is not so nice.
Thank you. All right, let me call on this great gentleman. Hey, your media, talk to me. Rank this team based on their achievements. The Invincible, the Chelsea, and the Centurion.
It's actually a hard one because I feel, as always, you can make an argument for every team here. Arsenal went unbeaten in that season 03-04. Chelsea conceded 15 goals, more or less. That broke Arsenal's record of 17 goals conceded, I think, in the 98-99 season. I'm not sure about the year. But they also went close to going unbeaten in that season. They had Anelka's penalty to that stopped them from going unbeaten in 04-05. And then City Centurions obviously became the first team to hit 100 points. So you can make an argument for all the sides. But I just feel the fact that Arsenal's Invincibles record might never be matched due to the Premier League's current strength. To be fair, I don't think the league was as strong then as it is now. I think it was easier to go unbeaten in years past than right now. But still, you have to give them their flowers. So I would put Arsenal's Invincibles as number one. City's Centurions second, and Chelsea's records of goals considered number three.
All right, that's it. That's Yomi Jura talking about that. And let me move on to this great man. Kunle, talk to me. How you going to rank this team based on their achievement?
I think I'm going to rate Chelsea's 2004-2005 team as the best, because I think that was actually I think that still remains the most solid team ever. I mean, they blew everyone apart, and I think, like Sheye said, an unfortunate Nicolas Anelka penalty would have actually denied Chelsea that chance to go the season unbeaten. That was how good they were. And, let's not forget that they were almost close to 100 points. They scored 95, which at that time became a record. And I think it remained that way until, until Man City did the 98, 99, that I think 98, the Liverpool did 97, which season? Oh, sorry. Okay, I think it's the 100 that broke it. The 98, 97 was years after. So, they would have been close to 100. It's not just about the fact that they were defensively solid, but even offensive-wise, they were good, because I think they scored up to, was it 70? So I think only Arsenal superseded them.
Yeah. But
they were that balanced. This is not taking anything away from Arsenal being the invincible of that season here. But like I said, Chelsea were almost close, right? If not for an unfortunate penalty. But if you take the performance of Chelsea that season and what Arsenal did the previous season, Chelsea were actually more solid than Arsenal throughout the course of the season, if we really want to look at it objectively. So I would put Chelsea's 04-05 season on top. Then I would put Arsenal's Invincibles next because second because going an entire season is no mean feat. Then I would put City Centurion scoring 100 points. I think it was coming because when you look at the way Man City were playing, blowing teams hot and cold, I mean, we're scoring. I think it was very clear that they were going to score. They were going to reach that 100 points. So I think the only thing now that is left for Pep Guardiola is to for an entire season. But sadly, he will not be able to do that this season because Ali's Wolves have destroyed it. So maybe we'll see next if he can do. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to the next person. Let me hear from you. Nubian Prince, can you hear me loud and clear? Nubian, talk to me. Yeah, rank this team. This team based on their achievement. Yeah, please go for it.
All of them have one thing in common. They won the title. But they win the title. And the record is set. How likely is the record going to be broken, matched? For us now, they actually, one thing that people have not come to realize about that unbeaten season is they actually set 2 records. The first record was winning the title unbeaten, and that they did at White Hart Lane when they drew 2-2 or 3-3. Then going an entire season unbeaten. So I think that record, and neither of those 2 records have actually been matched, let alone be surpassed. So that for me, that puts them on top. Yes, the Chelsea team, they won the title too. They lost just a game, but they lost. And of course, that loss came before they were even close to winning the title. Then, of course, they were very miserly in defense. They considered just 15 goals. But my argument against them is the fact that they didn't score lots of goals. And their performance was not that eye-catching. Yes, they were defensively solid. They were very difficult to break down, but not precisely, very attractive going forward. So based on that, I'll go for the City team as second. 100 points, not just 100 points alone. It was about how they gathered the points. If you win all your games across the season, I think you will amass 118 or 108 points, if I'm right. So I think 100 points is huge. 100 points is huge for me, and the lots of goals. I think they scored well over 80 goals. So I think for me, I think the Arsenal Invincibles definitely number 1. Manchester City 100 points, Centurion team number 2. Of course, Chelsea a distant third.
All right, that's Nubian Prince for you there. Thank you so much, Nubian Prince. Moving on to the last man standing. I'm talking about this person, just beautiful man, joining us all the way from Canada. Talk to me, Ola, about this one. Rank this team based on their achievement. Number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Okay, so this one is definitely the Invisible will confess, because of the golden trophy they got for it. And just like the last caller said, the record, I don't think anybody will be able to break that record again, just because of the competitiveness of the league now, and the coaches, the players, everybody won't allow you go a season unbeaten. If anybody will break that record, it should be Man City. And they can't do that again this season. So I don't think Tottenham is unbeaten, but I don't think they can go the whole season unbeaten this season. The second will be Chelsea, because defense wins you title. Consider just 15 goals in
15 goals. Can you imagine?
It's unreasonable. It's very unreasonable. And definitely the third will be Centurion, the Man City team.
All right. You can hear that. All right. Everybody, you're watching us anywhere you're watching from, you can drop your own comments. Ranking this team based on their achievement. Moving on to the next one. I'm telling you, it's going to be a massive weekend in the world of football. The paper sport talk. This is the moment. This is the section. Let's see what we have in the paper section. Let's go for it, people. Number 1 is going to be talking about the 2030 World Cup to be held across the 3 continents. Which one is these 3 continents is that achievable to you? Talk to me. We have Spain, Portugal, Morocco has been named as the co-host with their opening 3 matches taking place in Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay. How is this achievable? Okay, let me start with you.
I see this as Gianni Infantino just trying to appease everybody. And honestly, in reality, you can't make everyone happy. It is obviously not possible. I think there are better ways in which we can celebrate the existence and the history of the World Cup. So this is just ridiculous because the traveling schedule is going to be bonkers for these players. I mean, we're currently in 2023 and we're already having complaints about the schedule pile-up for players. And now we have a rampant rate at which players are suffering from ACL injuries, anterior cruciate ligament injuries. And honestly, not every player returns the same after an ACL injury. So just like managers say, and just like coaches say, and some select footballers, it just feels like FIFA is all about what happens. They're just all about the commercial aspects. How does this translate into views? How do they make money? And then they're not thinking about the welfare of the players. Because I'm thinking to myself, why would I go and play one match of an opening tournament in Asia, and my second game is being played in Europe? My third game is going to be played in Africa, and I'll potentially play the final in Oceania. It makes no sense to me. Do you get? So it's disheartening. That's just the truth. It's really disheartening, and it just feels like FIFA is all about making the peace, as they say here in the UK. So, but then again, the decision has been made. But when you think about it holistically, thinking about the main hosts, Portugal, Spain, Morocco, it makes sense due to proximity. We've had different nations co-hosting together. We've had Canada and we're going to have Canada, US, and Mexico hosting in 2026. So I do understand that aspect. But then saying the first couple of games are going to be played in Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay. I mean, come on, we can do better than that. And I honestly just feel that they should be more concerned about the players and less about the numbers they're making.
All right, thank you so much. Let me tell the viewers, if you have any comments on this, just drop it. I'm going to absolutely read it out. So moving on to the next one, because of our time, let's quickly talk about another news which you accept referee's decision. I'm welcoming on this show Irate joining us, and also only outcome should be a replay. How is that possible? Club, go and sit down, calm down now. Irate, you're welcome to the show. This your guys telling us he wants a replay. Do you agree with that?
Thanks, Didon. It's good to be here, and good evening to all our viewers and everyone in the studio.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's something we call the danger of a single story, and when you see some headlines, you will feel like, oh, what Klopp is saying is just stupid. Why would he even say that? He has been in the game long enough to know that a replay is not possible. If you watch the press conference, Klopp said if it were possible, if it was up to him, he knows it is not possible, that only a replay would be a good outcome for Liverpool. I mean, we all know it. Everyone has said that it's not possible. But Klopp said if it were up to him and if it was possible, he would have loved the replay. So he's not saying, there has to be, he knows it's not going to happen. So that's why I say sometimes some headlines, you need to listen to the full press conference to understand what the manager is saying. Now, a lot of people are saying, Liverpool, they're saying nonsense by saying, we'll assess all of our options going forward. And according to what I'm hearing from Anfield, what I'm hearing is that Liverpool are keeping legal options open until the end of the season. And Liverpool may press or file lawsuits against PGMOL or PFA or whoever if Liverpool end the season 1 point outside of Champions League places, or 1 point not winning the Premier League. This has happened twice in the past couple of seasons. That Liverpool might actually press for the money that they would have gotten if they had finished in that position, legally. So that is what I heard, that Liverpool are confirming and assessing their options. And, like I said, it's just a decision that is very, very hard to take. We all know that the replay is not possible. We all know that. And talking about relegation, like some people, it's not happening. Chelsea and Man United are probably closer to relegating than Liverpool. So Liverpool don't make top four, because of a point, or don't win the Premier League, then a lawsuit might be filed, and that will be the first of its kind, I think, so in the Premier League. So that's just what it's all about. But according to the game, it's not possible. It's not replayable. We've taken the loss. We've had a great season so far, and we are moving on to Brighton. That's just my opinion.
All right, thank you so much on that. Next news, let's see what we have. Rashford, Manchester United placed under threat as struggle continues. I'm going to ask you, Olashu, My question on this Rashford guy who has absolutely dropped form at this moment. Ola, do you believe it should be dropped from your own point of view?
No. Rashford should not be dropped. Why should he be dropped? So it's very simple. So it's not only Rashford that is off form, or because many people are just trying to make him a scapegoat. Since Maguire is not available, Shaw is not available. Yes, he has not been putting in a good shift. No problem. We see that, but they've talked. I believe they've talked to him and the coach. The issue, because we've not gotten there, I think we're going to get there. The issue with Man United is that the players have lost trust in the coach. That's what it is. Because I believe there is a dressing room distress already. He might be hiding it and saying all sorts. See, you don't need so there's some matches you don't need a coach to do anything before you win. You can't be losing to Crystal Palace at home. That is unacceptable. That is totally unacceptable. So you can't blame the coach for that. It's just that some senior player have decided not to play again for the team. Yeah, you can see them putting some shifts one time, 2 times, but they're not putting it consistently. That's the issue. So yeah, some of them are off form, some are doing it deliberately, some are doing it intentionally. But for Rashford, he's not supposed to be dropped. Please let him continue playing. He's going to play to form. There was a time Saka had a dip in form. Yeah. They didn't take him out of the starting lineup. He continued playing. You play into form back. Form is temporal. Class is permanent. He has the class. His form will come back. It's just a matter of time.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. All right, Kunle, talk to me about this. Can I call Kunle? No, Kunle, you are not an Arsenal fan. I want to actually ask Nubian Prince on Ope Adebari about this Saka, in the England squad again, despite the injury. So who is going to take it? Is it Ope that is going to talk to me or Nubian Prince?
Yeah,
do you like it?
Or we both talk about it.
Yeah, talk to me, Nubian Prince. Go for it.
I don't think it's necessary, really. So I guess you give this guy a breather. You're playing Australia out. Because the only way Saka will not play for England is if he does not play the City game. Arsenal can lie under that and say he's injured. Then he does not, join the Three Lions camp. But if he plays the City game and finishes, if he starts and finishes, there's no way Aston is going to stop him. Or if he starts and, hobbles off, Aston can have a good run and say, hey, this guy is injured, then he gets dropped. But if not, he's going to play. I think Arteta has not managed this guy well. Well, Arteta, in his defense, he keeps saying that he's passed feed by the doctors, that there's nothing wrong with him, he's fine to play. But I keep saying, yes, the player might be fit. The honest truth is the fact that you rest the player does not mean the player won't get injured. We have seen players getting rested for weeks and they pick up serious ACL injuries in training or serious ACL injuries, prior to, they warm up before the game. Injuries can happen at any point in time, but at least let this guy rest. He has been playing non-stop. Fuck the teams, but this guy has a record of the consecutive Premier League. That's almost 3 years now, not missing one game. It's crazy. The guy is just, don't run into ground, please.
All right, let me move on to the next one. Thank you for that. This is the fixtures. We are game 8. Game 8. I can't believe it. Robbie, on turn Loniel. 8 fixtures right now. Wow. And tomorrow is November 7. We have matches to be played tomorrow. Luton will be welcoming Spurs. And Spurs, they are very strong at the moment. Chelsea will be traveling all the way to Burnley. Likewise, Everton will be welcoming Bournemouth. Fulham also at home welcoming Sheffield United. And I'm telling you, the best club in England right now. Manchester United will be welcoming Brentford. And
how did you switch from then to right now to then?
I'm a little bit.
He don't have the best jokes on this platform. There's no doubt about it.
I'm just trying. All right.
They go beat it again. Okay.
God forbid. All right. Crystal Palace will also be welcoming Nottingham Forest, and on Sunday, of course, Super Sunday, in my own opinion. Brighton will be welcoming Liverpool. Iris, you're going to talk about that Brighton Liverpool. Do you think Liverpool will still not be angry? They will go all the way for this one. I know they played over the week in Europa. That's where their mates are on Thursday. They play so good, and they play very well. So moving on to that,
yeah, at least we are winning. You know, we are not in Champions League, we are winning. Yeah, we've not lost 2 straight games.
All right. That's it. You can hear him. All right, West Ham also welcoming Newcastle. That's another Super Sunday. I'm telling you, Wolves also welcoming Aston Villa. And the last game of that weekend on this Sunday is Arsenal welcoming the leaders, Man City. Let's start with this. Luton Spurs. That's another game. Chelsea, Burnley is another game. Let me call on Shaye. I think Shaye is back with us. Shaye, can you please quickly tell us in 2 minutes, Luton versus Spurs, likewise Burnley also welcoming Chelsea, considering the fact that Chelsea won their last game, and I think they should be firing at this time. They've gotten their mojo back. So talk to me, Shaye. What do you think about these 2 games?
Yeah, Luton Spurs, obviously Spurs are the favourites. Luton, we all know got their first Premier League victory last weekend against Everton. I think Kunle was one who warned us about that game and said they had a chance against the Toffees, and they went there and they got that 2-1 victory. Although, to be honest, I didn't see the game live, but watching the highlights and following the flow of the game, Everton actually had far better chances. Again, at Goodison Park, they had several chances, couldn't score. They scored, but they couldn't win the game. I think apart from the Arsenal match where they were more or less neutralized, they've actually had several attempts in their home games without scoring. So let's hope they fix that going forward. But Luton, credit to them for getting the victory. And for Spurs, they are still unbeaten in the Premier League. Got that fortuitous win against Liverpool. I actually feel for Postecoglou, that was more or less their least impressive performance of the season against Liverpool last week, where I don't think they had a plan to break down Liverpool's low block when Liverpool went to a 5-3 when they had 2 players sent off. I think that even made it much harder for Spurs. So let's see how they fare at Kenilworth Road tomorrow. But I will still back Spurs to continue their unbeaten start to this season, even though Luton have obviously improved since their opening games of the Premier League campaign. And I'm talking about the Burnley Chelsea game. It's actually weird for Burnley. People have given them plaudits for how they've played, but I feel they don't create that many good chances against.
You mean you mean Burnley?
Yeah, I mean Burnley. They obviously want to play easy on the air football. They want to play out from the back and do all those fancy things that most managers try to implement in their teams these days. But I feel
they do it so well. I mean, it's just the finishing.
They do it well to a point, but I actually don't even think they create that many chances. If you check the numbers, it's evident in the eye test, and also if you check the numbers, I think they have one of the lowest XGs in the Premier League. So they need to work on fashioning more clear-cut chances. And also, I feel another flaw in their game is defensively, where they tend to, at times, keep a high line without putting pressure on the ball. I feel that's one of the worst sins in football, when you want to play high, but you don't press a team in possession. We saw, I think, was it Aston Villa do it at Anfield a few weeks back, where they allowed Trent just pick out long passes from deep, and it's something Burnley also tend to do in their game. So they need to work on that against Chelsea. Chelsea, obviously, they seem to be on a decent run currently. 2 games in all comps without conceding. They had a brilliant 30 minutes to 45 minutes against Fulham on Monday, where I think we saw this team's potential. And they had a few games in recent weeks where they had not really particularly impressed. But I think against Fulham away from home, they did pretty well. We saw goals for Kylo Mudryk. We saw goals for Armando Broja, who was featuring for Chelsea for the first time in almost a year.
I'm telling you.
Of,
I need a collect salary.
Well, the injury wasn't his fault, so obviously he had to get paid. Although the goal was a bit fortuitous, but I think ultimately Chelsea seems to be finding some momentum. So really, they need to go to Burnley and get the victory, because if they drop points again, that makes things even harder for them if they intend to end in top 4, top 5.
Already talking about top 4, top 5K.
No, I think it
Don't mind them.
Obviously doable. I think the goal is just to go on a winning run. And they need the points because they have a really tough run.
I will show you the table. Don't worry. All right, Robbie, talk to me about these two games: Everton versus Bournemouth. Thank you so much, Yeye. And also Fulham versus Sheffield United. What's going on, bro? Robbie, talk to me.
All right, for Everton Bournemouth, I think one disappointing game for Everton was the game against Luton Town last weekend. Because I could say for a fact that based on Everton's experience in the English Premier League, they were more or less going to sweep aside the newly promoted side. And of course, looking at how many games Luton Town have lost since they came to the Premier League, one would expect that Everton would more or less be counting their 3 points even before the match started. But it was not the case. That was last weekend when Luton Town got their first maximum points at the expense of the Toffees. And for Fulham this weekend, I tell you, it does not get any tougher than having Fulham at your doorstep for an English Premier League side. But the very funny thing is, Everton might go on to win that game, that football. So for that game, I think I'm going to call it in favor of Fulham, because they also need the points badly. Their results have not made for an interesting reading in the past couple of weeks. But as it is, let us just see how that game pan out. Please, what's the second game you said I should look at?
It's just Fulham. Everton versus Bournemouth and Fulham Sheffield United. I think you've
okay. Everton Bournemouth forever. So I will call it in favor of Bournemouth. For Fulham Sheffield United, I think I would go the way of Fulham. Right now, like I said, their results have not made for an interesting reading, and they need points desperately.
I'm telling you, they need a point.
Yes, for Sheffield, yes, they've not been impressive since they came up, and of course, they also need the points. But I think Fulham's experience at the end of the day, and of course, the kind of personnel they have Willian, they have Pereira. These are players that have played for top clubs, talking about Chelsea and United respectively. So I think for Fulham, they should be able to at least make light work of Sheffield. That is tomorrow when both take to the field.
All right, thank you so much on that. Let's move on to this game. Manchester United versus Brentford. And there's one person I'm going to call upon, the new face of ISTV right now. Ola, talk to me. You're welcome. Once again, talk to me. You're a Manchester United fan. I want you to tell me what's going to happen this game, Manchester United Brentford. Another loss. If you lose this one, now allow, or what do you think?
Okay, so just like I said before, he's having some dressing room problem with the senior player. The junior ones are picking up, the Hannibals, the young ones are picking up, but the problem is now is with the senior guys. I think they are actually not pleased with the way he's handling issues. Now, not football issues, now not tactics. They are actually not pleased with the way he has been handling some issues. Sancho, Ronaldo, and all that thing. He's been affecting most of them, and they can't speak out. Why? I don't know why, but they really have the issue. So as long as they continue like that, I don't see them beating Brentford, even though they can beat Brentford in their sleep, even without a coach. But I don't see them beating this Brentford team, because now what team does is they come to Old Trafford. They like Crystal Palace has done it, Galatasaray has done it, many teams has done it. So why can't we do it? So they are coming with confidence. They are coming with the whole squad. Yeah. And so I don't see them. The highest they can do is pick up a draw here. Still, I think they're trying to play the coach out. That's what the senior players are trying to do. They're trying to play him out.
Wow, Kunle, I'm going to ask you. Thank you so much on that. Kunle, as a Manchester United fan, so many rumors going on that they don't want this coach. Do you believe that?
Sorry, come again.
I mean, people are already feeling that the players are not feeling the coach. They're not feeling him. It's like they want to play him out. What do you think on that? I'm moving on to this game as well. Do you think Manchester United can have 3 points in this game? The morale is low.
this is a game Manchester United should be getting 3 points in because
what if they don't get them now? What?
Then if they don't get it, then they are setting themselves up for failure because this current Brentford team is a team you should be beating because Brentford do not seem to be the Brentford of last season. Obviously to the fact that if Anthony is currently suspended for 8 months, he has done like 5 months now. Then they don't also have Rico Henry, their fullback, who is out for the rest of the season. So I think Thomas Frank, Brentford have not won any game match this season. There's also pressure on Thomas Frank as well. So this is a game United should capitalize on. If they cannot capitalize it, I'm sorry, I don't know which game they will capitalize on. I honestly do not know because this should be a game where you should be getting 3 points. Like it's not even up for debate. You shouldn't even be thinking about it. You understand? And this question about they are saying that they don't want to play for the manager. Excuse me. Which manager do you want to play for them? Because they didn't want to play for Jose Mourinho, they didn't want to play for Ralph Rangnick, they didn't want to play for Louis van Gaal, they didn't want to play for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So then who is the manager you want to play for? Is it Pep Guardiola? Is it Pep Guardiola you want to play for, or Jurgen Klopp, or who, please? Which manager do you want to play for them? Because I don't understand.
I think it's high time to start calling out the players. Well, let's hope they win tomorrow. Kule, still on Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. What do you think about that game? And before I move on to Sunday, which is Sunday is a special day in EPL. It's going to be a massive 3 big games, 4 games to be precise. Kule, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest.
Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. Well, I think it is a game that should go in Crystal Palace favor, seeing the very big win that they got over Manchester United last week. They are now playing at home, and although for Nottingham Forest, it's not going to be easy for Forest, but let's not forget that Nottingham Forest blew the chance to win last week when they drew 0-0 with, was it Burnley? No, not Burnley. I can't remember who. Oh, I think Sheffield United or I can't remember, but I know they drew last week. Please, if someone can help me with who Nottingham Forest played with last week, but I knew it was goalless, and I think it was actually a game they should have won because they were at home, right? But they didn't capitalize on it. Now you are going to London, and I think it's not going to be easy. So I think the momentum will go with Crystal.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move on to Sunday. All right, I rate this is going to be a massive game for Liverpool. Moving on to Brighton, do you think you can come up with 3 points? I'm sure you are. Your team is firing right now. I think the confidence will be there. Do you think any changes in the team or the team news you want to share with us from Liverpool side?
Liverpool, I think, played a good game. Not a very good game yesterday, honestly. We needed the second goal in stoppage time to calm the nerves down at Anfield. There were so many changes to the team that played, and you can tell that for some reason they just didn't play together as a team or have that rhythm of the usual Liverpool that we know. So, and also for Brighton yesterday, in a big game against Marseille in France, they came back from 2 goals down to get a 2-2 draw. So, but in the Premier League, I think they've lost the last 2 games or whatsoever. So, it's going to be a big game because they'll be up for it. They'll want to make amends for the losses they've had in recent times. We know they are better than what they have been displaying in the last couple of games. So they'll be up for it in front of their fans. And last season, we went to Brighton, I think, the Amex Stadium twice, and we got beaten there twice. So,
wow, that's going to be another massive game. What do you think for Liverpool?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a massive game. One thing that Brighton, they know how to shoot themselves in the foot a lot. And that's why when they score many goals. When they concede 2, they tend to concede many goals because they just get opened up so easily. And for Liverpool, the good news is we have Trent Alexander-Arnold back. So we're playing that hybrid role and we're picking up those passes. So, but to be honest, I don't see how Brighton would let Liverpool go with 3 points from the Amex Stadium. So I think I would go for a draw. In my opinion, I think a draw it will be befitting for both clubs on Sunday.
Oleni Ejo.
Well, this is a Brighton that has won as Old Trafford as well. So
Kule Awalobawi.
They won their last 2 games at Old Trafford. So, but yeah, it's going to be a tough game, a cracking game. But I think the 2 teams will share the spoils at the end of the day.
All right, moving on to this one. I'm going to call you West Ham, Newcastle. Newcastle are flying at this moment. Do you think it's 3 points for Newcastle? I mean, West Ham is not bad as well. Okay, talk to me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a difficult game. West Ham are currently in good form. We can see that Mohamed Kudus is finally, or rather, he's gradually getting his identity in this West Ham team. Yeah. I have to commend the trajectory of West Ham under David Moyes. Despite the loss of Declan Rice over the summer to Arsenal, they've been playing good football. You know, he recruited very, very well, getting Edson Alvarez, getting Kudus, and also getting James Ward-Prowse. Fantastic piece of business. And they got this former Arsenal lad, the centre-back, Konstantinos Mavropanos, who has also been given in a good shift at centre-back. So West Ham look very, very well. But most importantly, West Ham is going to be at home at the London Stadium. We know how difficult it is to get 3 points away at the London Stadium. But Newcastle is also in good form, you know, most recently defeating Paris Saint-Germain at St. James Park for the first Champions League game at Newcastle for the first time in 35 years. So Newcastle currently is on a high, you know, especially after defeating Sheffield United 8-0 2 weeks ago. It's going to be a very difficult fixture. But the Newcastle are going to be without some key players. No Callum Wilson, no Sven Botman, no Anthony Gordon due to suspension. So missing these players, I think it will affect Newcastle a bit because Eddie Howe will now be limited in terms of his approach to the game. So I mean, it's going to be difficult, but maybe because of the limitations of Newcastle, I would say it will be difficult for them to get a victory at West Ham Stadium, away to West Ham, because aside all the players I mentioned for West Ham coming into the team and playing well, one man who has been a standout for them this season is Lucas Paqueta. That's someone who was pushing for a move to Manchester City, but sadly it fell through due to some betting allegations raised against him. But aside that, he has been playing brilliantly for West Ham. I think it will be very easy for me to give West Ham a win. I would predict a 2-1 victory for West Ham over Newcastle.
Over Newcastle. Let me call on Sheye on this one. Sheye, Wolves, Aston Villa. That's another game on Sunday. Aston Villa. Do you think Aston Villa 3 points?
Well, for Aston Villa, we saw them blow Brighton away last weekend. Although, to be honest, I think the game was not a 6-1 match. I feel obviously we need to give them credit for scoring their chances, but I don't think there were 5 goals between the sides. So let's see if they're able to be as clinical this weekend. We saw them last night off and puff, and to be honest, they deserve that victory because they sustained their pressure for I think the last 10-15 minutes. They were more or less camped in their opponent's half. So John McGinn got that winning goal at the death, which was to their credit. So facing Wolves this weekend, I think it's actually going to be an interesting game because we saw Wolves beat the defending league champions last weekend. They took advantage of counter-attacks. You can put that down to City not having the likes of Rodri. They had more ball carriers than controllers in their midfield last weekend. So I think that more or less played into Wolves' hands because they were able to win the ball off Kovacic a few times and then eat on the counter-attack. So let's see if they're able to implement the same approach this weekend. To be fair, Wolves they've seemed to raise their game against the so-called big sides. We've seen them go to Old Trafford and give Man U.
Yes, we remember. Yeah, we remember.
And we saw them beat. We saw them almost go 2 goals up against Liverpool a few weeks back. But then Liverpool were able to come back and beat them 3-1 at Molineux, and we saw them beat Man City last weekend. So they seem to raise their game against the so-called big side. So let's see if they're able to replicate that kind of performance against Aston Villa, a team that keeps a high line. So if you can actually spring or beat that offside trap, then you'll be in business. So it's up to us to find the right combinations to penetrate Villa's eye line. So let's see if you can do that. But I feel for this one, I will still back Aston Villa to at least get a draw. So double chance for Aston Villa in this one, in my opinion.
All right. Let's move on to this game, the last game of the weekend. Wow, Arsenal versus Man City. No one else I'm going to call upon. Opa, you are going to talk to me about this game. Are you confident going to this game? Opa Odibari, that's the first message I received from a friend of mine. What do you think?
No, definitely. I'm not confident going into the game. Most especially because Arsenal lost midweek to Lens. And let me just, for context, Arsenal lost away to Lens 2-1. Manchester City won 3-1 away to RB Leipzig.
Yeah.
So, with all due respect to Lens, I believe if they face Leipzig will definitely get a victory from that game. No disrespect to Lens. Well-coached side. They've got fantastic players, like El Yewahi, who I warned about in the game on the show on Monday. I said to you guys that, look, Lens is a very well-coached side. And, they have a major threat in El Yewahi. But to be honest, Arsenal did start the game correctly. I believe starting Tomiyasu ahead of Ben White was the best thing to do to keep Wahi quiet. And immediately Zinchenko was taken off, and Ben White came on to play right back, and Tomiyasu went to left back. What happened? Arsenal conceded a goal. Who scored the goal? El Yewahi. So Arteta knows what to do to approach certain games. But I believe when it comes to Manchester City, I think Arteta is too emotional. Maybe because he interned under Pep. I would call it an internship. And then again, Pep is also good with mind games. Pep knows how to get under Arteta's skin. So it's going to be very difficult. And I sincerely don't see Arsenal getting the victory now. Do you have
any players you'll be expecting? Do you have any players to be? Do you have any players to be you are expecting to make the game? I think there's so many.
I believe Bukayo Saka will make the game. In what shape? I don't know. How many minutes will he play? I don't know, because he played less than 30 minutes against Lens, and he went out signaling to Arteta that he needs to be taken off. And the worst part was that there was no contact, and I think those are the worst type of injuries. So it could range from a hamstring injury, could be his quad. I mean, it could be something internal that needs a bit of time to heal from. Injuries like that are the worst for football players. But then again, the way Arteta approaches the game is also important. Don't forget that Arsenal got a victory in the Community Shield against Manchester City. And I think the way Arsenal shaped up to play really, really helped them. One major difference now is that there is no Jurriën Timber, right? So, but then again, like I've said before this season, for the first time in a long time, Arsenal have quality in depth. So I don't have a problem considering the fact that there's no Timber. But how they decide to approach the game is very, very important. How they decide to manage their emotions as well is very important. And that transmits down from the manager. The manager is on the third line fretting. It could also affect the players. I think Arsenal really need to manage their emotions in this game because on paper, they can get a victory. There is no Rodri, there is no KDB, and there's no John Stones as well. John Stones has been ruled out for the game as well. So it's going to be very difficult for Man City to actually play the ball through the middle. I expect Manchester City to go with long balls from Ederson and disturb, the Arsenal centre backs, and they'll be looking forward to pry on the mistakes of Gabriel. Gabriel as well can be temperamental, although he has tried to maintain composure after missing the first 3 games of the season. I believe that was the message Arteta was trying to pass across to him when he was benched for those first 3 games. So they can also try to attack him through that. We all know that Zinchenko as well is not the best defensively. And when I saw Jeremy Doku score that final goal against Leipzig, I was just thinking to myself and shaking my head, Doku can easily cook Zinchenko, as the case may be. But you know what? It's the Premier League. It's the most unpredictable league in the world, as well as it is the toughest league in the world. Yeah. Sincerely speaking, in my heart of hearts, I do not think Arsenal getting away with the victory, but I hope they are able to prove me wrong. I will be so glad.
My goodness, so plenty 3. All right. Ola, I want you to tell me something about this game. Do you think this game will shape the season? Who's going to win the season? I mean, this particular game, is it something we should be looking at? I mean, could it affect the league, the twist Here and there. Ola, over to you on this game, Super Sunday.
Thank you, Don. Unfortunately for Arsenal, they will not even. I don't even think the game will be close. That's just it. So maybe a 2-0. You might feel it's close, but the way they will take them out. Now, this is the problem with Arsenal. Last season, they did a very good job, and they came into this season just to have 2-3 upgrades, and Arteta messed up everything. How? Okay, you sold Xhaka, fine. The club he had a bias to take towards the fans, no problem. You sold Xhaka. You didn't bring in a replacement for Xhaka. You brought in Timber, a very good guy. He's injured out of season. You brought in Havertz that is already down in Chelsea. For what reason, I don't know. Now you've lost Martinelli, one of their greatest assets. You might as well not have Saka available. You have Jesus. You have Trossard. I watched their game against Lens. No Arsenal fan can tell me that Trossard played rubbish in that match. He couldn't even control a ball at the first time. I was wondering, is this Trossard? He couldn't even trap the ball once. So, yes, if the Arsenal fan can tell, I'm not even.
Honestly, I don't agree with everything Ola is saying, but he has a strong point, so I'll let him finish.
Okay, thank you. So, Trossard couldn't even trap a ball against Lens. I was wondering what's this guy doing on the pitch? Now, you want to play this guy. I pray Partey is back. If Partey is not back and Rice goes to play that number 4, they're going to take them out. Now, the reason why Rice was able to excel in West Ham is because of a guy called Sutek. The guy was the one covering for him. Sutek always covers for him when he goes. So you don't see the lapses like that. If they play Partey and Rice, they have a very strong chance of winning. But I don't think Partey is around, so I don't think Partey will play. But if Partey tries to play and Rice goes to that position and they shift Havertz to the striking force, because I know he's not going to trust Trossard to start against Man City. Trossard will not start against Man City. He doesn't trust him that much. He would rather put Jesus in Nketiah and Saka, or Jesus, Havertz and Saka. He will not trust Trossard. He doesn't trust Trossard as much as he trusts Xhaka like last season. So, for me, Man City is going to win this game. Maybe I'm seeing a 2-0 or a 2-1. You might feel the score line is close, but it's not actually close.
Oh my goodness!
All right, so let me quickly respond to Ola. I'll make it as brief as possible. So let me talk you guys through something. Since Mikel Arteta has taken charge over Arsenal, the truth is that it's been a process, and this season is the first time that Arteta is actually implementing his own ideal style of football on this Arsenal team. And what you've seen over the years at Arsenal is a transition. When he first took over in the 2019-20 season halfway, he had no choice but to play with a back 5. Why? He inherited a lot of band average players who could not play football the way he wanted to play football. So we started with a back 5. What was the back 5 doing for us? It was able to curb those individual errors from the likes of Mustafi, Kolasinac, even David when he came in. Calamities of players. So the back 5 helped to curb their individual errors and created a balance between the attack and defense. Lacazette, with the good hold-up play, was able to help us drop down into the middle and create chances for the likes of Aubameyang and Saka to thrive. It worked for a while. He got a bit of money after we finished paying the loan for the Emirates Stadium. He signed some players like Thomas Partey. We switched to the double pivot. The double pivot was working for us, and gradually the players were understanding what Arteta wants. It was working, and then we progressed again. We took out the bad eggs from the team. We brought in players who were able to do the needful, which you saw last season. The difference between last season and now is that for the first time, Arsenal have quality in depth. The truth is that the profile of Granit Xhaka and Kai Havertz, or maybe an Emil Smith-Rowe, is the fact that Xhaka is a natural box-to-box midfielder. Xhaka was given the task of getting more goals last season. He did that. But you see what Xhaka naturally has in his game is the ability to track back and to do a good job, which also helped both Partey, Zinchenko, and it helped the forward line as well, people like Martinelli. But now you've got a different profile of a player. The truth is that if Arsenal is playing the exact way that Arteta wants, there is no problem with Kai Havertz. Why? Because Arteta's ideal style of football is to play with a 3 at the back while in possession. And you have a double pivot in front of those 3 at the back. Who are the members of the double pivot? The number 6 and then Zinchenko. And then you have 4 people behind a striker. So if Arsenal are playing ideally that way all the time, Havertz really does not have defensive duties. All he needs to do is to strike back when we're without the ball and gets ready to recover in transition. It's that simple. So the truth is, they are currently trying to gel in that way. There are new players in the team, especially in key positions, talking about Rice and Havertz. The more time they play together, the more they gel together, and it will look better going forward. So I would totally agree that the signing of Havertz is wrong. Over time, we will see it play out, especially once Timber is back. You will see more options.
Okay, let me ask you one question. Just one question. Let me ask you one question. So just answer this question. Is Advert, if everybody is fit, is Advert in the first 11 of Arsenal?
Oh, yeah.
He's in the first 11 of Arsenal.
If everybody is fit. If everybody is fit.
Then again, to make a point, you start setting players depending on certain games. Different games require different profile of players. I made that example when I said Tomiyasu started ahead of Ben White. If Ben White started that game, Elyawahi would have cooked Ben White the same way Rashford always cooks Ben White. It's as simple as that. So you need to study your opponent and know the type of team to play forward. Against Man City in the Community Shield, don't forget that Arteta decided by himself to play both Rice and Partey because of the type of team that we're facing. Thankfully, Thomas Partey is fit and back again. He didn't play against Lens, but he was on the bench. Hopefully, he's fit enough to start this game, because I also do believe the best way to approach Manchester City, play with both Rice and Partey. Yes, you made a good point with Thomas Suchek and Rice at West Ham, but it won't be the same case here for Rice at Arsenal. He'll need to do more. He'll need to step up like Rodri did last season. If we're playing the type of football we want, he would have chances where he's going to be on the box so much, but then what does he do with the ball? Is he finding those long range passes? Is he finding the back of the net as well? Because that is what Rodri upgraded to last season.
All right. Irate, I think you want to talk about this game.
Yeah, I just want to say that in as much as it's match day 8 and we have 32 games to go, I think this game is of huge significance, not just for Arsenal or for Man City, but for the Premier League as a whole. I think if Arsenal, like Wolves did last week, can challenge Man City and get 3 points, I think we would rather have, a better title race. I don't think we've had a good title race so far in the last couple of seasons. So I think as a neutral in the Premier League, I would love to see Arsenal get 3 points. Now, let's note that I heard Okwe saying Arsenal setup was good in the Community Shield and all that. Yes, I think so, but Man City were still, a level above Arsenal, and it took a deflection for Arsenal to equalize in that game in the dying minutes. So it's not like Arsenal matched Man City. No, they have not so far. And if my stats serve me right, the last time Arsenal have won against Man City was in 2015. They've lost 12 straight games, and if we are looking at it, I think that should be home and away for the last 6 seasons. That is a terrible.
Okay, they are 5 to 33. Arsenal scored 5 goals. Man City have 33 goals.
Wow,
very shame.
They will beat you again on Sunday.
This is what you should be saying for Man City, Bournemouth, or Man City. Those so-called smaller teams in the Premier, not a team like Arsenal. So it's a very, very shameful start. And if you are playing in front of your own fans, you have to get it right that this season we won't let a repeat of what happened last season happen again this season. You want to lay down a marker. Arsenal are unbeaten so far in the Premier League. You want to show that you can compete with the big boys. On Man City side, Man City don't have the treble-winning midfield of Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Rodri last season that they had. They don't have it this season. I think that has affected them and dropped their rhythm and gameplay a little bit, especially Rodri, who I think is irreplaceable in that position. So I think it's for Arsenal's advantage that they don't have those 3 guys available. Yeah. And Arsenal should step up at home. Now we are talking about Arsenal's midfield combination. That would be interesting, because whether we like it or not, paint it any way you want it, call it anyhow you want it, Kai Havertz is not playing well. And I just find it absurd that after they dashed him a goal, they formed a song for him. But anyways, that is their problem. But he's not playing well. And if I'm Arteta, I'm not starting him against Man City. He is going to get lost in that midfield. I would rather start Partey and Rice or Fabio Vieira, who has played well, better than him. Arsenal fans can testify to that. Fabio Vieira has had more impact on that team than Kai Havertz. So he is not working.
I don't know why they.
I don't know however they want to paint it. Kai Havertz is not working. And Arteta
it's not working. It's not working. Kai Havertz is not working.
Because of the price tag. He brought in him. He said he wanted Kai Havertz. So he's trying to just show him into the side because of his price tag. It's not working so far. So if Arsenal cannot win this game tomorrow, if Man City get 3 points, come on, I think I don't see where Arsenal will get the win against Man City again. Due to, like I said, especially that midfield, that those 3 guys will be absent. So Arsenal have to win this game. If they don't, I think we're in trouble again in the Premier League, and Man City might go on a ride. So it's a huge game. Despite the fact that it's still early into the season, it's a huge game and has huge significance for the title race.
All right,
keyword from Irit is so far. So far, Havertz looks not to be a good signing. We still get games to play for this season. Nagosi.
Robbie, you want to hear something? Robbie, talk to me. You want to say something about this game?
Yes. As usual, I'm always standing on a very, very different pedestal. And just like Iris said, Arsenal has not beaten Manchester City in the league for a very, very long time. And that is one demon they have to exercise. And I don't see them exercising that demon on Sunday. Because even for the Community Shield, Manchester City were very, very dominant. I saw that game, and Arsenal should just thank their stars because of that deflection from Trossard. And I really didn't think that Manchester City were ready for the penalty shootout because they were abysmal from 6 yards. But as it is, this is one Pep Guardiola who wants to put further daylight between himself and the rest of the chasing pack. And of course, he definitely will have that psychological edge going up against Arsenal on Sunday. How many goals will it be? I don't know, but I think it's going to be a close encounter. But like the Yorubas will say, that when you throw a cutlass 100 times, it will still give you the same result 100 times, which equals to Manchester City will still beat Arsenal on Sunday.
Honestly, that would be shameful with that midfield that they would have to jiggle together for that game. That would be shameful. Arsenal in front of their fans can't get a win against this Man City side. It is very shameful. Let's call a spade a spade.
Nubia praise. Don't draw yourself. Nubia praise. You're in trouble. You didn't hear them.
I didn't hear them. I don't know how they are arriving at that. For me,
what do you say about this game?
And a very good chance of beating City, and I think they will. In fact, my hunch tells me.
Really?
Yes, my hunch tells me that Havertz will score in that game. Arsenal have what it takes to beat City. People complaining about Trossard. People are not putting into consideration the fact that Arsenal had a 6-hour delay before that game. The players who were laggy, that's the fact. Now, I'm not excusing their tepid performance, but we need to factor that in too. And don't forget that Trossard didn't play against Bournemouth, so it was a bit rusty too. But that's a guy against City. Everybody's going to step up. That's the honest truth. Everybody's going to step up, and I expect them to, try to dominate that midfield. I hope Arteta gets the midfield combination right. I want to see Partey and I want to see Declan Rice together, because we are playing a makeshift Manchester City central midfield, and the best thing is dominate them. Make the most of that opportunity. Rodri is not around. Make the most of if we can actually dominate that midfield, I think we have what it takes to hurt them.
I'm telling you.
This kind of play. Phil Nelson, Gabriel Jesus, Nketiah. I think these guys can actually hurt City. City have not been rampant, and I think with Saliba in there, I think Alan won't have a few days. Anybody saying that City were rampant in the Community Shield, I don't know the Community Shield you watched. Myself and Sheye watched it together, and Arsenal had chances. In fact,
maybe you now watch out for beer parlor.
City came to the party in the second half. In the first half, it was all Arsenal. In the first half, Havertz had a sitter that he missed. He had 2 chances in the first half that he missed. It was in the second half that City came on board and they were playing well. And kudos to Arsenal. They were 1-0 down. They didn't give up. They kept going. If they had not, in fact, if you look at that equalizer, Arsenal strung together, I think, a couple of passes that City didn't touch the ball at all.
Yeah.
I think maybe 15 or 18 passes. City didn't touch the ball. And they moved the ball from Arsenal's defense to City's defense before they got that corner. And from the corner, they walked it and they got the goal. So we need to give Arsenal the credit too, because if they had laid back, if they had conceded another goal, would the equalizer have mattered? No. If they had stayed back and they had said, okay, 1-0 is a respectable scoreline, they won't have equalized. So they took the initiative. They asked questions of City and they forced the error. And of course, Manuel Akonji considered that own goal, and at the end of the day, Arsenal won. So what I'm saying is, Arteta has closed the gap on City, and I think there is no better time to beat City. Anybody saying that if you throw the cutlass up down a million times, who told you that we are throwing the cutlass up? I mean, this is football. This is not the cutlass throwing game. Arsenal are going to win the match. They have but win the match, and I think we will.
All right, thank you so much. It is what it is. This is up. I'm not sure whether. Kunle, do you want to say something about this game before I wrap up?
Well, I think like Iris has stated earlier, I think this is the game Arsenal really need to win, because I think they have it in their favor this time around compared to City. So it's not even about the fact that they beat lost. I think that game against Norwich, for me personally, I think it was, let me call it a one-off, because I think the way lost set up to play, I think it was just going to be difficult for Arsenal to penetrate them. Right? They were defensively, they were defensively solid, and I think they were set out to play. And of course, home advantage also played into their hands. So I think it was a one-off. But now Arsenal is back in familiar territory against a team they all too well. I think they should just go for it. Yes, there might not be some players that would play and all of that, but sometimes this thing is just about psychology, right? You know what is at stake, so try to have that psychological edge over the other side, and I hope that Arteta will be able to have that psychological edge over Guardiola this time, because I think, like Irit also mentioned, it is going to be good for the Premier League, because you wouldn't want a situation where Manchester City is just getting away with it. I think it just makes the league look one-sided, and I think that's not fair from a neutral point of view. Everybody wants to see end-to-end action and wants to see some of the favorites being tested, right? So I hope that's what we will see on Sunday.
I think if you look at the league table right now, which I'm just displaying on the screen right there, Manchester City 18 points, Tottenham 17, likewise also Arsenal with the same point, 17. Liverpool 16 points, Aston Villa 15, Brighton 15, West Ham 13, Newcastle 12, Crystal Palace 11, Manchester United 19 points. 9 points. Chelsea.
You guys are closer to Chelsea. Oh my, yeah.
We are playing, yeah.
You know how many weeks United will take Ghana 19 points?
All right. And there's one person I want to actually look at. Mark, can you hear me loud and clear, Mark?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, this is La Liga table. Real Madrid 21 points, Barcelona 20 points, Girona 19 points, Atletico Madrid 16 points. I think Real Madrid and Barcelona at this point in time, they're going for it, both of them. What do you think? Do you think this weekend, look at your fixtures, who is benefiting? Who do you think is going to go to top of the table this weekend?
Honestly speaking, I would say it is more of Real Madrid than Barcelona now, because Barcelona is now having serious injury problems after that match.
That's where I'm going, self.
Yes, after that match against Porto, it was a Pyrrhic victory, because we came down with a lot of Lewandowski left that match after 33 minutes and was replaced by Torres, who got a goal. And we've been managing Joao Felix because of his form. He also has a knock. And then there's another player I can't recall now who is down, Lamine Yamal. He went to the toilet and he never came back, and we have to play for. Yes, he went to the toilet. Xavi explained that before the match, he has been explaining that he is ill. He's not at his optimal. So he forced him to play the match. And in the 79 minutes, he said he had to go to the toilet. And after 10 minutes, he came back and said he couldn't continue. So Barcelona played for 10 minutes with 10 men before they eventually replaced him. So I don't think he's going to make that starting lineup. But the thing is,
who is going to replace Lewandowski. And there is the fear that Lewandowski is not going to play El Clasico. So we are looking at Torres because he's only the one person who has a name, if I can call it that, who can fill those big shoes. And then there is another guy called Fermin Lopez. He's a 20-year-old guy who is also doing very, very well. So maybe he's going to partner Torres up front, and Gabi or one other person or Joe Felix will fill the remaining slot up front. Real Madrid, they've been doing well, especially in the Champions League, and they've had Vinicius Junior back. And early on Saturday, tomorrow, they are playing Osasuna. I see them winning that game. It may not be easy, but I still see them winning. Barcelona will play the next day away to Granada. Real Madrid are at home. So it is more difficult for Barcelona than for Real Madrid now at this point. And the interesting thing, again, is that at the end of the month, October 28th, we are having El Clasico. Lewandowski is not playing. And if we are neck and neck up to that point, it is advantage Real Madrid.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much, Mark, on that. It's going to be a massive night. This weekend's got a lot of games. So I want to thank everybody for showing up on this one. First of all, Nubian Prince, thank you so much for joining us on this one. Massive love. All right, bro. All right, Kunle. Thanks for joining us on this one. Massive one.
Pleasure, boss.
All right, man. Mark.
I did.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. But you don't have confidence this weekend, right?
I didn't remember that it was time, so I joined late. I'm working remotely today.
All right. Thank you so much on that, bro. One love.
I'll join on Monday too. Yeah.
All right. Massive love. Thank you so much. Irate, thank you so much for joining us on this one.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me.
All right. Also, Robbie Fowler. Thank you so much.
Yes, Robbie Fowler. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Good to be on the show today.
All right. Massive love, boss. All right. Jaya, thanks for joining us on this one. Massive. Thank you so much. Big up.
Yeah, always a pleasure to Don.
All right. Ope Adebari is going to be a massive game on Sunday.
The Don. I will return on Monday victorious. I will return victorious.
All right. One love. All right. Ola was talking to me. Ola, what's going on?
Yeah, fine. Thank you for having me on the show. Really had a nice time.
All right, let's quickly talk about this game. Let's talk about this score line. Who do you think? Luton versus Spurs. Who is going to win?
Spurs, straight up.
Spurs, straight up. All right, what about this game? Burnley versus Chelsea.
So Burnley. I'm sensing a draw from that match.
All right, draw that one. What about Everton? Bournemouth.
Everton. They were unlucky in their last match. They will not be unlucky now.
Yeah, so Everton. What about Fulham versus Sheffield United?
I see Fulham, the home team winning.
All right, this game is tricky for me. I can't even predict it. I predict it. I said 2-0 for Manchester United. What's your prediction on that one? Man U versus Brentford.
It's going to be a draw. It's draw. A draw. It's going to be a straight draw.
All right. What about Crystal Palace?
Crystal Palace, their defense is on form. They are winning this one. Sorry, I won. Sorry.
All right, what about Brighton versus Liverpool?
For me, this is the game of the week. Brighton, Liverpool, 2 attacking side. It's going to be fun for us. With the neutrals, we're going to be supporting Brighton, and I wish Brighton win, but I think it's going to end in a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. All right. What about West Ham versus Newcastle?
Oh, Newcastle, this is not PSG. West Ham is winning this one. 100%. This is not PSG. 100%.
All right, Newcastle winning that one. What about this game? Wolves versus Aston Villa.
Wolves, Aston Villa. Emery is doing a nice job. I think Aston Villa will make it. I don't care if they won Man City last week. I think Aston Villa is winning it.
I tell you, now the game of the weekend. The game Arsenal versus Man City.
2-0 Man City wins. There's no issue.
Yes,
you want to force Kai Havertz on us. You can't force him on the team. He's forcing on the team. He's making mistakes here and there. And he's going to still play because he has pride in him. Ateta has pride in him.
I think so.
So, no two ways about it. Man City is going to win them without Rodri. just like the guy said, it's going to be very shameful. It's going to be really, really shameful because they're winning you without their best midfielder. That's the shame about it.
All right, I want to say thank you to you, Ola, all the way from Canada. One love, bro. Take it easy. See you on the next one on Monday. We'll be live. We'll be here to judge our judgment. Thank you so much, Ola. Bye for now. All right, people. I'm telling you, this is how far I can go tonight. It's going to be back again on Monday. Please smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Didon is signing out. I am telling you, it has been a fantastic weekend. But nevertheless, this weekend, there's going to be a lot of games. So on this one, I'm saying bye for now. Yeah.